gentlemen, welcome to the NFL playoffs. This is how you started off right. We've got the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Buffalo Bills here in Buffalo. The Colts are trying to march into field goal range to tie this game and possibly send it to overtime. Second and 11, Rivers going deep. Incomplete. Nothing there. 8 seconds left on the clock. At this point, you have to play the sidelines. Oh my God. This game has been insane. The Bills looking for their first playoff win in 25 years. The Colts with an epic comeback in this game in the fourth quarter. It's been insanity all around. They're near midfield. 8 seconds left. They need a solid 15 yards to get into field goal range. Third and 11 for Rivers. He's going to throw. Incomplete. It's all coming down to a Hail Mary. That's it. The game is coming down to a Hail Mary for the Colts. This is the game right here, ladies and gentlemen. 27-24. 4 seconds left. Fourth and 11. It all comes down to a Hail Mary. Either the Buffalo Bills get their first playoff winner in 25 years, or the Colts pull off the upset. Indianapolis praying for a miracle. Here we go. Colts, here we go. They're not sending pressure. Rivers chucking it up. It's in the air. Incomplete. It's incomplete. The Bills have won their first playoff game in 25 years. Oh my God. The drought is over in Buffalo. Phillip Rivers played a hell of a game, especially in that fourth quarter. This loss is not on Phillip Rivers. I'm looking at Frank Wright, and I'm looking at the defense here. That ball didn't even come Nah. It didn't even make the end zone. Even if that was caught, nothing would have happened. But that's the game. The season ends here for the Colts. But I'm going to give all the credit to Phillip Rivers. He did not turn the ball. He did everything in his power in this fourth quarter. I'm looking at you, Frank Wright. I'm looking at you. You cost your team the game with your over-aggressive play calling. You cost them. Going for it on fourth down at the goal line, which I wasn't even that mad about. But I said it. I was like, that right there is going to be the difference maker. That could potentially cost him the game. Not only that, this dude goes for a 2-point conversion for no reason and doesn't get it. Phillip Rivers did everything in his power. He did everything in his power to help this team come back. They were down 14, and he did everything in his power to help this team come back and win this game. Unfortunately, his defense decided not to show up in the second half, and Frank Wright, honestly, I'm putting this loss on him. This loss has to go to Frank Wright. This loss definitely has to go on Frank Wright. No question. Frank Wright, you cost your team the game with your play calling. You wanted to be overly aggressive. You didn't take the points. You went for the fourth down, which I wasn't necessarily mad at, but I was definitely confused as to why you would go for two. Like, that made zero sense to me. Why would you go for two there? That don't make any sense. But, man, what a win for the Bills. And I'm not going to lie, Buffalo, I know you guys were scared, man. You guys were scared. It looked like you had control of this game after you went up 14, but then all of a sudden, Phillip Rivers and the Colts offense started scoring touchdown and then touchdown again. Both those drives, each of them lasted 2 minutes each, so they weren't taking a lot of time off the clock, and they were still having opportunities here. But you gotta give credit, man. This Bills team showed up and did what they needed to do in the second half. Josh Allen, my God, this man, what a difference the year makes. I'm not gonna lie, he had a similar mistake to what he had last year in this game. But luckily, his defense was able to come up clutch and make the stops. But, before that mess happened, Josh Allen, 3 total touchdowns on the day, just throwing beautiful passes down the field. Hit this man Diggs, who had over 100 yards receiving. Just Cole Beasley getting involved a little bit, just looking at this team. Singletary doing his thing on the ground. Not much in the run game, but they were still getting some good plays out of there. And overall, Josh Allen just showing a difference, man. The maturity he showed, a difference. Last year, he was so confused and fumbled in the playoffs. He didn't know what he was doing. He ended up blowing that 19-point lead against the Texans. This season, he was more poised. He was more calm. The game wasn't always going their way, but he did not move away from what he did best. Unfortunately, he did have that moment where he ended up taking that sack and he fumbled the ball. That right there, oh, that was tough. That was actually tough. It's a good thing that the Bills were able to cover that up, because if you would have gave the Colts the ball and that spot with the amount of time that was left, man. But honestly, it looked like the Colts, when it came to them, I'm just really going to blame Frank Wright. Because, like, he was so overly aggressive with this play calling for no reason. Like, at times, I'm like, what are you doing? Also, Teray, yeah, you're going to get a little bit of that blame. I don't know what you were thinking. I understand you were dealing with an ankle injury and you came back from that, but I don't know what you were thinking. Why would you jump? Why? The Bills were not going to snap the ball. It's 4th and 3. This is the first half. 4th and 3, it's getting towards halftime, and all Allen's doing is trying to get them off sides. And Turay's the only one to fall for it. Why? Why? They're not going to snap that ball right there. What are you doing? What are you doing? That one definitely cost them, because next thing you know, they scored a touchdown and they're up 14-10. It was a 10-7 game. Honestly, when you look back at this game, the number one thing you're going to say about the Colts was missed opportunities. They had a chance to be up 17-7 against the Bills. The defense was shutting them down. They gave up one long touchdown drive, but other than that, the defense was doing a great job against the Bills offense, because they were stopping them and getting the ball back to Phillip Rivers. So they were doing their job. They did what needed to be done. Unfortunately, Phillip Rivers and the offense were moving the ball down the field nice, but they got at the goal line and then decided to go for it on 4th and goal. And again, I'm looking at that and I'm like, I don't blame Frank Wright for wanting to be aggressive there. I don't know. It just feels like in a situation like this, you might want to take the points. But I don't blame him. And the play call wasn't bad. It's just that Phillip Rivers, pressure was brought on him because, Bill sent pressure towards him. It got to him a little late, and, he kind of had to start, rolling back and just trying to see if he can get out there. The pass he threw, it just wasn't able to be caught. It wasn't able to be caught. It was just a little bit overthrown. But you know what? That one kind of feels like it was the difference maker in this game. So I know the Colts, now that their season's over, they're going to be looking back at that moment. They're going to be looking back at the 2-point conversion for that was not converted, even though, you could have, even if they got the extra point, I don't know what difference it would have made, because the defense was just failing to make stops in key moments. But you know what? It is what it is. A good chunk of the blame is going to Frank Wright. A good chunk of the blame is going to that Colts defense that, honestly, it's not like they did bad. They just kept giving up big yards and stuff like that. Honestly, both defenses did not do well in terms of giving up the big plays. Like, they played bend but don't break type defense for both of them. They were giving up chunk yards. Passes down the field, deep balls. Like, they were giving up big plays on, like, 3rd down, too. Especially the Bills. They kept giving up third down after third down. I believe the Colts were, 9 of 15 or 10 of 16 on 3rd down. You can't be giving that up. The Colts, I think that's not even just that, too, because they were giving that up. But, again, they were still making stops. The biggest killer, forget about the 4th down now. The biggest killer for the Colts in this game was the 2 drives they had in the 3rd quarter that accumulated 22 plays. That took, 7, 8, possibly 9 minutes? And they came up with 0 points. The missed field goal also came back to bite them. So that definitely hurt them. It's just missed opportunities. When you look at the Colts, when they look back at this game, it's just missed opportunities. So many missed opportunities to try and take control of this game or possibly take this game. But it is what it is. For the Bills, they did just enough to survive, because this actually became scary. And honestly, you have to rely on your defense. And I feel like this Bills defense is going to have to be the difference maker as to whether or not the Bills can get to the Super Bowl. Because after looking at this, man, if this is a team that's going to face off against some of these high-flying offenses, especially with Kansas City, this is not something you really want to see. Because that's a bit dangerous, man. That's definitely a bit dangerous. The fact that your secondary was giving up a lot of big plays. The fact that, you guys were not able to make stops on 3rd down. That's not something you want to see from your defense. Offensively, it seemed like they came out slow in the first half. But thanks to the missed opportunities by the Colts, they were able to take advantage and they woke up and they did just enough to win the game. So good on them. Anyway, with that being said, man, that's really all I got. Next up is Seattle and the Rams. I do not know if Jared Goff's going to play in this game, but we'll find out soon. But yeah, congratulations to the Buffalo Bills. Your first playoff win in 25 years. Enjoy this moment. Enjoy this moment and get ready for next week when you face off against who knows. I mean, you got, at this point, it's 3 teams. Either you're going up against, it's 4 teams. You know, if Pittsburgh loses to Cleveland, you guys are getting either Tennessee or Baltimore. If Pittsburgh wins, you'll be seeing Pittsburgh, and that'll be a rematch to see who gets to go to the AFC Championship game. We'll see what happens there. But once again, great job to the Bills. Congratulations on the win. You advanced to the divisional round. As for the Colts, your season ends here. Phillip Rivers played a hell of a game. Frank Wright, I feel like, cost you guys on several situations. The defense cost you guys on several situations. And most importantly, the missed opportunities are the reason you guys are not advancing. So it is what it is. We'll see you next year in Indianapolis. With that being said, that's all I got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace!